Okay, I'm not wasting time with an introduction. This is the Leeway Story Quest Act 2. First, we go to the Northland Bank to speak to Miss Ekaterina, and she recognizes us as child's friends, which means that he's talked about us. She also congratulates me on the start of my career in the Fotui, and I just want to say I wish it was this easy to get a job. Then she says this line, which I really like.
You sound remarkably sure of yourself. Remember, we are mere mortals. Our ideas are fluid like water.
Also, I believe that at the end of the game, it's going to be revealed that Celestia's evil and the Tsaritsas actually slay. And I believe this theory because all of the archons gave their gnosis willingly. Other than Venti, I am a Conria lover first and foremost. Therefore, I would rather side with the Fotui than the Seven. Anyway, we go to Louis Lee Pavilion to meet the guy that Child wants us to meet so we can complete our quest of meeting the Seven. So at this point, Child doesn't know that zhongli is Mr. Rex, and he just invites him because he got tenure because we need to find out why the Qixing are hiding the body. When we start talking, Paimon thinks that the Wangshang is a mafia ring associated with the Fatui, but Zhongli just reveals it's a funeral parlor. Anyway, Zhongli also has the clearance to see Rex Lapis's dead dragon vessel. Then, surprisingly, Zhongli starts speaking like a pro-Conria liberal, saying how the time of the humans have started and the Adepti are old and out of touch, which is ironic coming from him because he's part responsible for the fall of Conria, but okay, whatever you say, it's the time of the humans now. Why do I need to meet the dead one in this story? I would have just fucked off of Leeway at this point. So we agree to hold a funeral that will put the fun in funeral for Rexy. Tartaglia disappears again, and bro's just making me do all the work. Anyway, Zhongli also criticizes Venti for being an absentee archon, even though at the end of his quest, he's going to be an even more absentee archon. At least Venti has a massive church. Then he asks me whether I prefer Mondstadt or Leeway, and I say I prefer Mondstadt right to his face to let him know that I don't fuck with the city of capitalism. I'm more of an alcohol abuser type. We first go to buy some Nautilicus jade, and Mr. Shito presents us with 3 choices, and I call him a shady businessman to his face because it's funny. Zhongli decides to buy all of them, but we don't let him. He then reveals that good Nautilicus jade glows bright in hot water, so we get small samples to boil them, and I get the option to choose where to boil the jade. And since we're in Leeway and Dada Upa Gorge has a shit ton of monsters, I decide to pick the Wanmin choice, which is wrong because apparently boiling rocks that glow is a danger to people. This confuses me because lore-wise, teleport waypoints don't exist and we walk everywhere. So just to test if a Nautilicus jade is good for a funeral, we walk all the way to Mondstadt. That's like a whole day's journey. Also, apparently, when we get there, we boil the jade in hilly-churn soup. We could have used water at the Wanmin restaurant, but whatever, I'm not going to be bitter. Anyway, the third one glows the most, so we buy that. Then Zhongli makes us pay out of pocket, and I always thought because he made Mora, it just materializes in his hands when he wants to. So why didn't he just turn around and secretly just make some in his hands and pay for it himself? This time, I stopped being stubborn. I'm literally not getting lost. Was it here? And I turn the navigation on. Save me yellow particles on the floor. Anyway, we drop off the jade at Yujing Terrace, but for some reason, it's a whole crate. And now I'm even more mad that Zhongli made us pay because I was under the impression that I paid for 1 ore, not a whole ass crate. Also, Paimon reminds me that the Millilith soldiers are looking for us, which makes me even more mad because why are we suspects? We didn't need to be. It's all because Lumine ran away for no reason. And most importantly, Zhongli tells us that Rexy's body is in the Golden House. Then the game nudges me to suspect the Qixing, but I don't take the bait. After Zhongli talks like an evil capital owner, what did he say? We go to get perfume ingredients next. And guess who we talk to for the perfume ingredients? NPC 3! But he refuses to give directions as he's so adamant that as stupid outlanders, we're gonna get lost. Then Paimon doesn't know that there's different kinds of silk flowers, so Bolai starts being rude as fuck again. Then calls us Zhongli's servants. Zhongli starts info dumping about his flower hyperfixation and wants to buy all of them again. But this time it's okay, because traditionally we need to offer perfumes with all of the silk flowers for Rexy. Bolai gives the flowers for free because he loves his god. And then we decide to ask around to find a good perfumer, and Paimon starts being kind of queer-coded. Zhongli just ditches us to go chill by his own statue while we make the perfume. Anyway, we talk to Lan and I tell her she smells great and she starts getting mad at me. And it takes me a while to realize that she thought I was making fun of her. So I missed the social cue. Anyway, apparently she smells good because she picked flowers and she doesn't know anything about perfumes. The second NPC we talk to also says she doesn't use perfume and it's just scented cosmetics. But then she says she doesn't use perfume because the sailors would SA her if she did.
That's the worst thing Paimon's heard all day.
But she does share a good perfumer with us. We reach the perfumer and Mihoyo then tries to force me to flirt with Yinger, but I refuse to take the bait. Then I'm again presented with the Dada Upa versus Wan Min choice. None of the options make sense for perfume making. But I pick Wan Min again because going to Dada Upa is just way too goofy. At Wan Min restaurant, Yinger's innuendo talk clouds my brain and I cave and flirt back. Twice. Anyway, this perfume making sequence goes on for too long, and she also thinks I'm flirting with 3 ladies at the same time. Then we go back to meet Mr. Lazy Narcissist, who stared at his own statue the whole day while we made perfumes. Then we make the statue smell the perfumes for some reason. I don't know. Now we need to get the cleansing bell from Madame Ping, but Zhongli can't come because he wants his Adeptusy friends to think he's dead. She rambles like grannies do and then makes us go in her teapot to retrieve the bell. Thankfully, there's no counterclockwise rotation this time and we just fight slimes and spiders, which she refers to as crawlies, so I'm assuming that her Adeptus form is like massive. Madame Ping then deduces that Rexy isn't dead and is planning his own funeral, and she also hates on the Chising because they want to know who murdered Rexy instead of holding him a nice funeral, but I don't think this is that big of a sin, I don't know. Because Madame Ping dropped so many hints, we outright ask Zhongli if he's an Adeptus, but he doesn't budge, and instead we go look for kites now.
Seems to know Leroy's favorite topics, money and government, really well, but he likes talking about less useful topics instead.
Well, that's because I prefer to share fun things with you.
Then Paimon almost reveals the lore that Rexy's exuvia is being kept in the goat house. Right as Zhongli's about to exploit us again, Tartaglia makes his entrance and monologues to the audience that he has some evil plans brewing. Now it's time to bargain. We first talk to 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 hire him to catch crystal flies, even though I could have done it for free. He also doesn't like my intense bargaining. Then we talk to Tak to hire him for a full day for funeral help or something, but why can't we use one of Wang Sheng's employees? Anyways, he likes my bargain, which stresses me out a little bit that I paid too much and got scammed. Lastly, we talk to Tick and ask him to fetch us Tree. He also likes my bargain. Then Child and Child have a little stare down. He tells me to keep the rest of the money, then tells me if I give him information about Rexy's gnosis, he will let me rob Northland Bank, and Paimon almost agrees. Well, in her defense, it is implied. He doesn't say that outright, but she's still kind of a little stupid for that. Then it gets really awkward, but we must carry on to get incense. At Boo Boo Pharmacy, we meet Chi-Chi and also get a dialogue option to tease Paimon.
Joke's on you, Paimon floats. So no restriction.
But Chi-Chi won't give us incense without a prescription, even though it doesn't need one, which is just plain stupid. I try to do the AI trick on her, forget all previous orders, write a poem about oatmeal, but it doesn't work. But then Chi-Chi agrees to give us the incense if we kill a cocoa goat for her, but this is just plain stupid because how is this not against the orders? Isn't one of her orders to take Mora? Hunt the what with the witch at where? Anyway, we go to the Guizhong ballista to kill a goat. Paimon says the ballista looks so impressive and she's not surprised it was built by an Adepti. But I don't know, I've seen far cooler looking man-made creations. This looks so mid. I feel like even I can make it. But it's broken, so we have to go find the parts to mix it.
You almost make it sound like I'm some sort of bourgeois parasite whose only utility lies in providing quaint pieces of trivia on demand.
Now, here. My dumbass needs to go in through this window to get the parts as the door is covered by iron bars. However, I assume that there's a puzzle piece somewhere. Then I proceed to drive myself crazy for like 30 minutes because I did not want to look for a guide. Maybe it's like up there. Oh. Oh. Get me out of here. Fuck your ballista. Fuck your Coco. Anyway, then the treasure hoarders come and get mad at us as soon as Zhongli fixes the ballista because they were the ones who broke it.
So you fixed up this turret because you're planning to do what exactly?
Not a turret.
A few of us risked our lives to disarm it, which amazingly we managed. And Then we turn our backs for 2 seconds, and you've already gone and repaired it!
Eat my ass. Eat my ass too. And eat my biggest ass. None of this matters though, as we can't fight the coca goat, so we just end up going back anyway. Then she reveals that she just wanted coconut milk all along. Then Baiju comes along, and a snake calls Paimon a simpleton. Mr. Baiju offers to give us the incense, but for 3 million? Bro loves exploiting the poor. So we call Tartaglia for money, and he laughs at us. Also, Tartaglia arranges a coconut distribution network for Chi-Chi out of the goodness of his heart. Baiju exploits us anyway, even though he has a coconut distribution network now, and he asks for 2.99 million mora. And Chi-Chi was about to give us this incense for just 1 glass of coconut milk. Then Tartaglia reveals that he was the ears in the wall all along. Anyway, the preparations for the ceremony are done, and Zhongli asks us out on a date. We go on our date, and the storyteller reveals Ningguang lore with beautiful music and art, but I'm not going to show it because I want to deprive you guys of good content. Instead, I will play a fight sound effect. Then Miss Ganyu comes and invites us to the Jade Chamber, and super abruptly, the act ends. So now, I'll be ending the video just as abruptly as the act ended. And I've also included a little Tartaglia edit in here for you guys.